Hey Patrick, Michael Yan here at SmartSoft. All right, so here is what I've come up with so far. I'll be very candid. We really don't support this kind of press very well. There are a couple things like web presses we don't support either very well. So I'm deciding to use this approach and see if it works for you. I do have a couple questions. One is, do you ever do one ink, or is it always full color? Also, I'm assuming you could print on the other side. Maybe you have to run it through the press again. I don't know that the inkjet heads prints duplexing. So I'm leaving this as no, being that if you had to print on the other side, I think you'd have to run it through the machine again. I could be wrong though, so if it is, then you would turn that to Y. Looking at the specs, I went to the website and said they could do that, and of course it doesn't go right to the edge. As far as I could tell. So I'm going to leave this off though, margin wise. And you'll notice I have no pricing at all here because again you said it's only on ink, and the problem is that it's adjustable, being there's high or light, medium, and heavy coverage, which is a different price. Still a little fuzzy on exactly what the range means, but that's okay. So the two problems we have is pricing and predicting how long a job is going to be, so your foreman isn't caught, finding out that he's got a job that's got to run for 2 shifts. So we want to be able to predict how long a job's going to run. So I'm using advanced speeds, and I'm using this because we'll say, hey, when we're at this size, we can run at this speed. When we get to that speed or size, we run on that speed. And you can see here again, I added 4 over 0, 4 over 4. I don't know if that's necessary. And you can make as many of these as you want, and make one for every size envelope you have and tune it to be exactly what you need. So let me show you what that looks like in a quote. Oh, and more importantly, as I said, the problem I have to solve for pricing has to do with this concept of inks, and I don't have a way to have multiple ink costs on the same press. So what most people do for light, medium, and heavy coverage is they set up a finishing task, and again, in the finishing task they use the per piece, or they could use per square foot. It might be that we've got light coverage but it's over a whole big area, or you could just use it per square feet. This one, you could use that and it would calculate the range, because I think that might be it. That might be if I have light coverage but I'm only covering a small part, or I'm only printing on a very small envelope versus a very large envelope. That might be the difference of pricing. So I'm not sure what we're going to do. I'm not sure what you're going to want to do. But I'm going to leave it at per piece, and you can see per piece the price is different for light than it would be for heavy or medium. So what that would look like in a quote is like this. So I would never do all 3, but I wanted to show you that they price differently. So if I click in here, the first thing I want to show you is the time. And we're saying, okay, we can do 10,000 in an hour. So you can see there, and 5,000 would only take 30 minutes. So we got that tuned for that size, the 9.5 by 4.25. And then again, the ink coverages, when we get into here, obviously light is going to be less money, and heavy coverage is going to be a lot more money. And I don't know if these numbers are right, but that's kind of what I'm doing per piece. And you can adjust as you need. And you can see now I'm going to go to the next one. I'm going to do the 9 by 12, and you'll see that obviously for 10,000 it's going to take 2 hours because we can only do 5,000 an hour. So I'll go ahead and close this, and you can see that here. Again, the time, because it's a larger piece, I can only do 5,000 an hour. And again, the pricing would be the same, being there's light, medium, high, because it's piece, and that's one of the things I'm wondering, does that make sense? It might be that if I got a larger thing, then I'm going to use more ink, and therefore we might be looking at using square feet, or square inches, if you will, to come up with pricing. Obviously, you can see the press doesn't do much when it comes to pricing. It just predicts how much time it's going to take, and of course, paper is separate. But the pricing is going to be completely controlled here with this, either by picking light, medium, or heavy. And of course, the person doing the estimate or people doing the order would have to have some wisdom to look at the art and go, oh, I got to pick this one over that one. Anyway, that's the best I can do, unless I build something brand new, which would be a custom job, with custom costing. But I think this might work, so let me know.